Stormfang Hemi, and I am a Speedlogix customer, and today I am here to show you and install this catch can, a air oil separator. So what this does is when the PCV opens, it usually flows from the valve into the intake manifold. Well, the air that comes from the PCV valve has oil mixed into it. So what happens is when it gets thrown into the intake manifold, some of that oil can get deposited in the manifold as well as on the valves. Over time with heat, it can actually gum up the valves from opening and closing correctly and creating that perfect seal. And it will rob you of some power. So what this does is this is sort of like a cleaning system for it. One end will go from the PCV valve into the catch can. It will go into this side of the catch can, go through some mesh, and then up, down, up into the other side. And then this one will go into the intake manifold. Well, when it enters here, there's some wire mesh that the oil particles will stick to and drip down into this reservoir. So essentially the oil will be collected in here. Yeah, the oil will be collected in here. Then once the oil is collected in here, the air will flow through and then come up into this chamber and then out into the intake manifold with cleaner air. So you won't get that buildup and that gunk on your valves. Now when you order the catch can, I believe it comes with some regular old factory looking pipes, rubber piping, or rubber tubing I guess. I did choose this option, the braided hoses. It is an option for this. Actually you have to go to a different page to order them. It's in the catch can accessories, and I opted for these for my car, which is a 5.7 liter Hemi V8. For this install you're going to need a ratchet, a 1/4 inch socket, a 16 millimeter deep socket, an extension, and a screwdriver. Now installation is very simple. You will start by removing the engine shroud from the engine. Once we have the shroud off, we're going to take our 16 millimeter deep socket and remove this nut right there. We're no longer going to need this, so we're going to go ahead and put it to the side. Now this bracket here is for the silencer tube that usually comes out of the intake tube. I did cut off my silencer tube here, as you can see, so there's no need for this bracket anyway. We'll just pull it off. Now this is one thing I did forget to mention, but you will need a 17 millimeter wrench for this next part. Included with your catch can, you will receive this nut in the kit. You will basically thread this nut onto that bolt, like so. Without the hoses attached, you're going to remove the bottom chamber of the catch can from the top one. So what you're going to want to do is on that nut right there that we're working on, this is threaded. Let me get in focus. This is threaded, so we're going to thread it onto that bolt. Now what you're going to want to make sure of is that the reservoir has enough clearance You're going to want to make sure that the reservoir has enough clearance so that when it's in place, let me take the camera off here, get a side shot, so that when the catch can is in place, it doesn't impact the coolant hose right here. So we just got enough clearance, and you want to make sure. Once you have the clearance that you need, go ahead and back up this nut and tighten it up to where it rests snugly against the catch can and it won't move out of place. Alright. So I'm going to take my 17 mil and I'm going to remove this mass airflow sensor so I can get better access to it. Alright, so it's nice and snug there. Now we're going to go ahead and the hose that we're going to be replacing is that hose right there, this one. So this is the PCV, and the air flows from here into the intake manifold. We're going to want to remove that tube, which is really simple. You basically pull it up here and pull it out there. And I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm going to try to focus in on it. But you will actually see that there's some oil residue, yeah, right there. So that's the oil that gets sucked into your intake manifold, and you don't want that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run one hose from the PCV here to this side. So this will be the inlet. Then what I'm going to do is, actually, since I have real good access to it, I'm just going to take the screwdriver and tighten down the hose clamp. Make sure it's fit nice and snug on it first. Give me a second. Okay. Of course, this is the longer of the two hoses because it has to reach all the way back here to the PCV. So I have that one securely put on. I'm just going to twist it around so that it kind of hides the what's the word I'm looking for? The hose clamp. That's the word I was looking for. You're going to place the other one here. And again, this is the longer of the two. So we'll go ahead and tighten up this hose clamp. Then you're going to take the shorter of the two hoses, which I have here, place it on the other end. Tighten it down. Now this is where I'm going to switch to a 1/4 inch to speed up the process, and because you get a lot of awkward angles with all of the stuff in the way, all these hoses. Okay, you got that one snug, and then we're just going to route this one to the intake manifold. There we go. And we're going to do the same. Tighten it down. Once you have everything installed, you can go ahead and replace your cover. And run that one through here. Set this down here. And there you go. The last part, reconnect your mass airflow sensor. Now we're all done. And I kind of like the look of it without the shroud on the engine. I'm going to see if I can find some of those half covers for either side of the engine so that I can actually have the shroud off and those pretty braided hoses showing. But yes, my name is Mario, aka Stormfang Hemi. I am Stormfang Hemi on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, and I'll be uploading this to those websites. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, or Speedlogix will be happy to answer any questions you have as well. Y'all have a good one.